doorway in your body is your genitals. And if you learn how to use this doorway, it serves as an opening into the records of time. Sexuality aligns your body into a state of healing and opens gateways to the stars. Sexuality in a bonded, loving relationship can be profound and take you into other worlds, revitalize your body, and remind your body of its most idealized patterns. Using sexual expression to regenerate yourself rather than degenerate yourself is the ideal you will pursue. Dealing with sexuality involves dealing with hormones. Sex excites the very core of your cells, and the light-encoded filaments become entwined with one another. In a magnet, the energies all line up and face the same way. When you become sexual and do the dance that starts in your hormones, your whole body lines up in one direction. When you and another individual are lined up, you are like the North and South Poles. Your body turns into a magnet. When you and another individual achieve a heightened state of electromagnetic force, you pull on one another and create a balance between each other. When you get really good at this, you will not even have to touch each other. You can create this web of love between you, and it is through this force field that your inner bodies arise and go into other worlds. We think sexuality is one of the most exciting gifts you have been given, and we want to guide you further along this journey so that you can have a better time on Earth. Love yourself and love Earth because they are one and the same, and that means every part of your body. You need to talk about sex. Make a commitment to accept every area of your body and to draw a partner to yourself who will honor every area of your body. Know that your partner will be wanting and willing to pioneer this glorious part of your God-Goddess force. You inherit the blueprint of every person with whom you have sex, so you have not only your own stuff to deal with, but theirs as well. When your body comes together with another's, your chakras are stirred and your kundalini is moved. If your kundalini is only moved into your lower two chakras, and it is not a full-body infusion, you can have hooks into the other person's auric field, and they can have hooks into yours. This is why it is important to be very selective about who you are going to have sex with. Make sure, if you are going to go for it, that you have some kind of bond and commitment, and that you plan on working things out. Because in this day of accelerated time and sped-up energy, you can take on everything from someone else. Sex is wonderful. It is absolutely one of the most glorious gifts that you have as a human being to discover your identity. However, you must learn how to use it. No one has educated you on the ramifications of the energy link that comes from having sex with people. You may want to do a number of ceremonies or rituals with the intention of releasing people's energy from your field. Smudging is a very good ritual to clear your energy field. Churches all use it. Many institutions use incense or smoke of some kind to clear energy. Smoke is multidimensional. When you smudge, it is an indication you are taking a step to cleanse, clear, and release the energy so that there are no attachments. You may want to smudge your body and smudge your home. If you are a man, when you have sex, you can learn to retain the sperm and not ejaculate. There are certain techniques to do this. Pressing on the perineum, the small area between the anus and the scrotum, holds the life force inside the body, and the orgasm changes. Humans have been tricked into having genital orgasms, which are localized experiences, rather than full-body cosmic experiences. If you think about how many bodies you are, you will realize that you can experience orgasm in all of these bodies. So as you reconsider and redefine how you are pleasured, you begin to experience different ways of receiving pleasure, and you move out of the locality of the genital area. There is also tremendous excitement that can come from looking into each other's eyes exchanging the strands of DNA. This is the heart connection into the eyes of the soul, the heart of the soul. Of course you can close your eyes. However, a tremendous amount of eye contact changes the experience. You may also wish to work with your chakras, touching especially each other's heart chakras. Put your hand on the heart chakra of your partner and keep your hearts open. Perhaps you can change your focus during intercourse to not reach climax immediately. Have fun and build to the point just before climax, then hold that frequency, subside to a point, and build it again and again. Take some time with it. When you honor the process, spending hours doing so, because this creates a deep intimacy and the experience will last you so much longer. The rejuvenation or regeneration of the life force occurs when there are hours and hours of intimacy, with your eyes open and you learning to get your body to do what you want it to do. An orgasm is not a local event. There are people who can have their ears tickled and have orgasms. There are people who can have their wrists tickled and have orgasms. You can have orgasms when you dream. You can have orgasms when you are out of your body. The orgasm is misunderstood. You think it is a local event of the genital area. It is not. It is a cosmic event that has been interpreted to be localized so that you would miss the point. It is an ongoing pulsation of godhood and goddesshood, of pleasure and of connecting to the pulse of existence. So it can occur anywhere. If you were really tuned in to your sexuality, taking a bite of delicious food could send an orgasm through you if you were that free. It is the height of appreciating the divinity in all things. There is nothing wrong with masturbation. It is a fine practice if you learn to honor your body and the rightness of stimulating certain feelings within your body. Masturbate without projection, without shame, and without dragging varieties of unknowns into your body through thought. It is tricky, like everything. It is a fine art form, but it is not to be practiced solely as a form of release. If you are using masturbation to release tension, then you need to reconsider. If you have never masturbated, then how can you expect to have sex with someone else and expect them to know your body when you don't know it yourself? Sexuality will take on a whole different value and become one of the most important forces discussed as earth changes become more pronounced. As your society disintegrates, you will want to reevaluate everything. You will want to be close, to be committed, and to have a partner you can count on. As you become aware of life extension and understand about everything speeding up, you will eventually experience great movements of rejuvenation. The partners that you choose will be partners you know and have known for tens of thousands of years. If you are female, you can help your male partner open up by accepting yourself and your own body, and by creating for yourself a standard about the kind of man you are available for. You will magnetize this kind of man because he will be willing to learn and change. The male vibrations, in general, are very confused at this time, not knowing for certain what their identity is. They are going to find out that they need to draw to themselves those who will integrate them into these changes. The more you can be stabilized in your love for your body and in your willingness to know what you want and what your intentions are, the easier it will be for men. One of the big taboos in your society has been oral sex. We've said that woman's substance of power is blood, while the substance of power for men is sperm. Sperm carries a tremendous amount of data, while blood can be likened to an elixir of healing, a source of life. Both offer revitalization and rejuvenation. When you share these substances while in a bonded, loving relationship, it is the ultimate in sharing your secret power. It is the ultimate in blending in your identities so that you can remember who you are and why, in this lifetime, you have come together. When you ingest these substances, you create a very deep bonding. It is like drinking or infusing the secrets and sum total of the individuals from whom they came. Again, we will state here that without the ingredient of love, you will never reach this exalted state of achievement. We suggest that couples who have sex have an intention around their sexual activity. This does not take the spontaneity out of it. It does not mean that you have to get organized and structured and make appointments and have all of this processing before you come together. As you develop intimacy, sexual activity does not take place only when your hormones are zinging. Sexual expression takes place continuously. As you walk into a market, you can carry on a conversation about your sexuality. You don't have to lock that experience into the bedroom, or when you are having a drink, or within certain little boxes of performance. You are going to be infused with this energy. It is part of what will train you about your divinity. It is essential. You have many things to look forward to in the sexual arena. Stay open, evaluate your present beliefs around sexuality, and explore your boundaries. Sexuality is your birthright and your heritage as humans. It is your gift from the gods. Time is a construct. On Earth, you have been under the assumption that the present springs from the past. We suggest that the present springs from the future as well. Time has many doorways through it, and the past and future both have their own validity and importance. This is all part of the ever-expanding now. The past, in its now, continues to influence its ongoing now. These ongoing nows continue to grow and mature, the same as their future counterparts. The assignment you are on involves changing your past as you spring from the future in order to create a different present. You are ruled by cycles and rhythms. A main influence that designs the pulse of life is the moon. Through the moon's cycles, and by the revolving of Earth on her axis and Earth's rotation around the sun, you make and define time. The moon, of course, in orbit around the Earth, acts as Earth's celestial companion on the cyclical journeys. Until the advent of electricity, these were the rhythms through which life was lived and defined for thousands of years. People could watch time pass. Day turned into night, and night turned into day. Time had distinctions. People could watch the seasons pass, and time was based on something that could be verified. With electricity came the breaking of these rhythms, for there could be light past dark. People began to use time differently, for functioning with light while it was dark heralded a radically different approach to the 24-hour day, because electric light provided more moments to expand into. When people first worked around computers, their concepts of time completely changed, and they could only handle so much of a distortion. Now that people are trained in computers, their altered time perception is passed on through the generations, and time is more sped up. However, the computer is a third-dimensional manifestation mirroring the collapse and distortion of time, and people fed the results of this into the mass psyche. This permits people like you to weave things together and perceive reality from a significant psychic viewpoint, a different point in time. The splitting of the second and the infusion of the computer heralded the technological boom of this century, completely changing everything and speeding your consciousness toward untold probabilities. The second and the moment continuously hold more events. Time has a variable now. It cannot be measured and clocked any longer. You can change, bend, and move time. As time collapses, new concepts, ideas, inventions, and alternatives are bombarding the mass psyche of the planet every few moments. probabilities of the moment are awakening and expanding through your experience of self-realization. Because you have mastered an affinity to connect with intelligence outside the planet, collectively, the planet is beginning to qualify for a higher rate of intelligence and responsibility. Though it may appear your world is reeking with corruption, please be aware that both polarities are going on at the same time. Those who carry light are becoming very empowered, and in a few years you will be amazed at the force of these people, for they are you. One belief you have in common is your belief in a new version of reality in which people express their freedom with respect, harmony, and cooperation, and in which Earth and each form of life, animal, plant, mineral, and human, is valued. The Maya called themselves daykeepers. We call them keepers of time. They are associated, of course, with the Pleiades system. They are masters at going into and out of time events. They are also masters at creating time locks. They cordon things off so that events can be directly in front of you, and because of the time locks, you do not see them. Time locks keep your consciousness from perceiving simultaneous time. The keepers of time that orchestrate events are like balls of light with rays that travel into many different realities and directions. The Mayan keepers of time were able to anchor on Earth the data that would make sense to future generations because they were multidimensional. They could travel backward, forward, and sideways in time, and their civilization was based upon time travel. They left many clues to this story buried throughout the land of Mexico. Their now became more meaningful because it was their purpose to grow a now that would benefit nows outside of their now. The Maya meant to create the paradigm, the description of what is going to occur, the cycles that your Earth goes through, and the cycles of time that are based on cosmic doorways. Earth's cycles with the sun, moon, and planets within your solar system have a significant effect on your physical electromagnetic body. The Maya understood that the Earth is involved in a larger system of rotation than just the solar system. That system of rotation was based on different numerical divisions. The Maya created and defined time in your system based upon their knowing that you were part of much larger cycles. The purpose of the Maya was to come onto the planet to establish a paradigm for the future. Different civilizations hold open portals of energy through collective consciousness. Energies that support or sustain other types of realities can, in limited number, be pulled onto the planet. However, a civilization must be prepared and trained to anchor this pillar of light. When there is light, there is information. The Mayan calendar precisely indicates the cycles of the heavens and the hells. The Maya knew their day of departure, and they prepared for that closure. From their point of view, they were transported into another physical dimension. In actuality, the Maya still very much exist. They flourish. Your keys of consciousness are moving through the time locks that the Maya are lifting for you. Because they are the keepers of time, the Maya are opening many time locks all over the planet. All time is simultaneous. A planet has layers of energy grids around it that allow it to be experienced from its various time frames. In order to enter a planetary body, you must discover the portals or opening that take you into the realities of the planet where sentient life exists. You can land on a world, and it can look completely empty to you if you don't go through a portal. By going through a portal, you access all the different realities and time frames and corridors that run off this portal. So someone can come back to an Earth that existed 200 or 500 years ago. These realities exist. Layer upon layer of gridworks surround worlds. As these gridworks are shifted and moved, They create different realities and different energies. When you move or shift the grids and pass through a portal, you are able to enter worlds of past, present, and future simultaneously. There are many portals on Earth. There is one in the Mexico-Central America area. There is one in the Sinai, and there is one over Tibet. These are three major portals through which energies come and depart the planet. Ancient crystal skulls are often discovered or kept in portal areas. When people maintain guardianship and ownership of a portal, they also have the ability to access the corridors of time. Those in Tibet could look into the future and see that they were to be invaded, so they made preparations for the times that were coming. They could see what their very seeds, the sperm of the Tibetan monks, would be used for. They could also see why their artifacts had to be hidden and that they would have to go into exile. Timelines, the fabric of time, and the tubes that run on this fabric of time are all hooked into primary events. Without a primary event, you cannot hook into a timeline. In other words, the secondary and tertiary webs need to be hooked into a primary event so that other timelines can use it as an anchor. The splitting of the atom was a primary event. So was the splitting of the second. Harmonic convergence was a primary event. Primary events can be public or private events, and are events through which the course of history is affected drastically. So, in order to anchor a new timeline onto the planet, there has to be a mass event taking place. A primary event is an occurrence that is registered within the prime webwork in the corridors of time as a pivotal juncture around which all of reality transits. It can be considered an event that is a turning point for the domain in which it transpires. Harmonic convergence was an orchestrated event impulsed from the future. It was sent from the future into the past and then reorganized into the present to create a whole through which the secondary and tertiary nets could be built and find a link onto the planet. What was the link? If these webs needed a primary event to link onto, what was it in the primary event that gave them the hold? It was the consciousness of the people. The libraries are on a version of the primary web that is closed down and inactivated. The libraries are guarded. It is not easy to get into a library these days, especially from the future. So the underlying time corridors are being constructed. Many, in order to own certain territories or to have greater influence over them, route specific timelines together. They have as many timelines link into each other as possible, or they avoid as many as they can, depending upon what the purpose is. When the secondary and tertiary events are established and built, it means that there will be a major opening in the corridor of time. This opening will allow many to come through the so-called officially approved channels. They will find an underground movement and doorways that simultaneously open in many other directions. The Maya, those master tricksters of time, have left you a number of clues with which to play this game. The Mayan calendar is well worth considering, as it marks a time of ending and a closure at the winter solstice in December 2012. When that last stretch of time is completed, there will be a dimensional shift upon this planet. Those who are able to accommodate the dimensional shift now are already moving in and out of the fourth and even the fifth dimension. During the next 20 years, the new frequency will become so predominant on the planet that it will catapult one version of your world into a new cycle and another version into a complete ending and destruction. Eventually, you will perceive a very different set of memories because you will change the past of your universe. This is how things are. We have told you that you come from your future and that we came back to change the past. We are very clever. we are changing the history of the entire universe by making a parallel universe. This is what parallel universes are. Plans that shift the mechanisms of time from one point by changing the memory and changing the event. You can do the same thing in your own personal life. You can change your past as well. Be flexible as you learn to play the game. Before you came into this reality, you applied for a slice of time, the moment you were born. At the precise time of your birth, the stars, planets, moon, and sun were in a specific configuration. When you emerged from your mother's womb, the energy from the stars and planets imprinted your flesh, no matter where you were, because the energy was touching Earth at that time as well. Within that moment were written certain probabilities, specific opportunities, and distinct challenges. The language of the stars explains your world in a way that is helpful for you to understand the bigger picture. Everything is in geometric relationship to everything else, creating energetic patterns. You yourself selected a moment and a lineage, a bloodline that you were born to give you the opportunities that you assessed would be ideal for you to experience in this lifetime. You determined these experiences according to what you needed to learn based on what you had created, will create, and are creating simultaneously in other places. In 1993, you experienced what we refer to as the galactic tidal wave of light, which translated through a planetary lineup that created a pathway of energies. The galactic tidal wave of light can be understood through the two planets Uranus and Neptune, which came into conjunction on 3 separate occasions, in February, in August, and in October 1993, aligning and energizing the sign of Capricorn at 18 to 19 degrees. Each planet has its own identity, its domain of influence. Each planet is a sentient being, an intelligent force of its own. As these two forms of intelligence came together in the sky, they transmitted a combined beam onto Earth, affecting those portions of Earth influenced by Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which represents form, structure, authority, limitations, and time. Among other things, Saturn has to do with rocks, stones, and crystals. Because these two planets joined in Capricorn, they mystified, electrified, energized, and changed the stone of Earth herself. On a planetary scale, the energy of this conjunction is leading you towards an opening of the feeling center, offering a solution to the building chaos. This flood of cyclic energy is responsible for the rapid mutation that will take place within the human species. You, as you exist here in this very moment, are changing or mutating through this energy, and your cells are becoming something different than they were. An alteration on a cellular level will catapult you into a metamorphosis in the spiritual dimensions. The earth changes that occur as a result will finalize the shift in consciousness that is needed to restore sanity, purpose of living, and meaningful existence to dimensions that are to be home here on Earth. The moon is a satellite that was constructed. It was built and anchored outside Earth's atmosphere as a mediating and monitoring device, a supercomputer, or eye in the sky. It affects all life forms on this planet beyond what you can currently grasp. In your history, there are references to 2 moons around Earth. You don't hear of this often, but there are those who know. At this time, the moon is quite controlled. Some people are gravely affected by mania and craziness from the moon. Extraterrestrials and others have many bases on the moon, and those from Earth have little influence when it comes down to it. It is the extraterrestrials who really operate it all. Your technology, though rapidly advancing, cannot begin to compare with the biotechnology of sentient space travelers. You are newcomers to the game, and you miss a vital key where your senses and the essence of your physical world structure reality in a particular way. You constantly translate data and, like interpreting a dream, condense the experience into physical boundaries where you find you can explain less and less. All is thought, a mental architecture with a construction crew in many realities. The sun is the governor of your solar system and is the seat of intelligence that rules this particular locale you occupy. The sun reaches into your domain and reads the vibrations as it touches your skin. It is intimately connected with every aspect of life as you know it. It is a force of intelligence that fuels your very existence and creates the environment under which you can evolve. The sun is very interested in your evolution, for as you evolve, you feed everything that you do back to the sun as it touches you. The sun and the moon are the luminaries within your system by which you are most profoundly influenced and affected. The sun generates its own light. The sun, in turn, illuminates the moon. The moon is a subsatellite of the sun, orbiting as a computer around Earth, built and maintained by many generations of gods. Heavenly bodies are constructed in the shapes of asteroids, moons, and planets, and it is through these luminaries that rays of intelligence, radio waves, and gamma rays are transmitted from star to sun and sent to Earth. It is through these rays that your actions are also read and taken back into the sun, the moon, and the beaming system, in this case, the Pleiades. When you are able to move to another location and view the solar system and sky from a different point of reference, you will see that Earth and the stars and everything shift quite dramatically. One of the systems with which you rotate is the system of the Pleiades, whose central sun is called Alcyon. Your solar system is located on the fringe of the galactic spiral. The sun is the governor, the ruler of your particular system as it appears to you. It is the sensitive spot of your particular arena of space. The sun reads its creations and in turn feeds the creations what they need. So when you carry love of yourselves and Earth, the solar rays completely understand the consciousness you carry. When you carry fear of Earth, the solar rays understand, and they nudge you into those experiences. As the rays from the sun change, activated by the consciousness of the inhabitants of Earth, and as the sun releases solar bursts, the polar regions of Earth are affected. The flares sent forth are like atomic explosions or jolts of electricity that go millions of miles deep into space. Earth's poles, which are magnets, catch this energy. They grab energy that comes from space to the planet. Because of the magnetic force, they arc it either around the equator or inward to the core of Earth. Each pole grabs the solar energy, drives it in, and creates a huge cylinder of vibrational energy. As that vibrational energy jolts and juggles to fit, it has to align with the energy grid of the Earth that is connected from the poles. This grid work is decreed by you, and to some extent, all energies merging or emerging through your version of Earth conform to this grid of beliefs. Intelligence designs itself as light. It is the intelligence of your sun that holds your solar system in its energetic field. At this time, effects are coming to you from beyond your sun. It is almost as if the effects of your sun have been unable to penetrate what has happened here on Earth. So other suns are coming to be assistants to your sun. Your sun makes the solar flares that draw the cosmic rays, grounding them into this solar system. Think of the sun as a gigantic magnet. Its solar flares send out tentacles to reach and grab for the cosmic rays. The cosmic rays are solar flares from a central sun at a distant place in your galaxy. We say the sun is grand. Studies have shown that when sunscreen was introduced, the rate of skin cancer began to rise. There is nothing wrong with the sun. In fact, the removal of the ozone layer allows you to have even greater receptivity to the rays of the sun. There are those who say, "Don't look at the sun. It is bad. It will burn out your eyes." We say you will have a change in your eye structure. There will be a mutation within the optic nerve that will allow a new type of vision and unlock what has been holding you to 3D. Trust that no one made a mistake when they put the sun in the sky. In the beginning there was sound. Sound began the whole thing, and in sound resides tremendous power. It opens doorways to other realities, for with the production of sound, an energy can move from one system to another. When you utilize sound, it is quite easy to bypass the logical mind, shifting the channel by intending and being clear. Allow sounds to come through your body, not just by singing specific notes, rather by allowing combinations of sound to play your bodies as if they are instruments. These sounds go beyond the logical mind. Sometimes you may fight or struggle because you have intellectualized a concept, yet cannot anchor it in its entirety onto your emotional experience. By toning, your intelligent intent is transmitted on sound, on carrier waves. Many forms of intelligence can communicate to the cells of your beings, bypassing the resistance of your logical minds and going directly through your bodies to your higher minds. We suggest that you hold weekly group tonings. Let this become part of your rituals and entertainment and part of the process of joining together. Toning is very beneficial to release pent-up energy. You feel light and uplifted afterward. It lines you up and gets your bodies in balance. Tones themselves correspond with and affect specific areas of the body. Some sounds affect your eyesight, or taste buds, or hearing. They affect all of the various senses and the organs as well. The ancients understood that a simple sound could reorganize the body's structure. The body automatically makes the most appropriate sounds that you need in a given moment. Trust. There are sounds that can stimulate deterioration or regeneration of organs in the body. Sounds that are harmonious activate the body and create healing. Healing can come through intention. However, there are certain sound frequencies that remind the liver to organize into its native geometric blueprint. Geometry is the form of intelligence that takes shape after sound moves away from Prime Creator. Your bodies are filled with geometry, for everything is made up of a geometric essence. Combinations of sounds as notes and chords will be played for enhancement of the liver, thyroid, and heart, and for regeneration. The entire body will be mapped and tuned much like a piano. You see the body functions on a blueprint, and it absorbs the sounds. It has an idealized blueprint which it automatically grows toward. You yourself do not have to know how your body grows from the infant stage to the adult stage. Within the blueprint of being, part of the purpose is to grow and maintain a healthy body. The blueprint of the body is changing, altering the purpose of the body. There will be reversals in health and numerous regenerative experiences as sound is utilized to remind the body to move in an ever-uplifting fashion. A great reversal is at hand concerning your beliefs about the degeneration of the body. Most people have not discovered that sharing sound during sexual activity is a deep key. When you tone together, you feel the spinning and opening of the chakras. During sex, Sharing sound with each other beyond the usual moans can lead to a greater distribution of sexual energy. Sound moves energy beyond the genitals, dispersing it throughout the cells of the body and triggering memory that unites you with more of who you are. Remember, the totality of your being contains both the shadow and the light. Please do not be distressed with the shadow. It adds beauty and understanding to the light. Move out of judgment, yet stay in comfort. A time will come when the children will gather and, using their unique telepathy, make silent sound. They will use their minds to create symphonies on other dimensions of existence. They will use sound internally and externally to create harmonics as light shields all over the planet. The children will gather in the hundreds and then the thousands, and they will be led into this collective image-making process. It will be a ritual set into motion as a very sacred event. While the children are doing this type of silent sounding, they will anchor and establish huge geometric identities that will eventually protect and govern Earth as psychic forces of thought. These geometric identities will be perhaps the higher selves of what you call the reptiles, the higher selves of many of the extraterrestrials or God forms that appear to be physical and etheric. Beyond them is geometry, and beyond that, sound. Sound is the governor of existence. The game masters employ sound, light, and geometry as basic tools for operation, and they wonder what you will do as you discover the tools of truth. Many will awaken to the use of sound. There will be major discoveries and energy impacts using sound. If 100,000 individuals are impulsed to harmonize and allow themselves to be played harmoniously as instruments of consciousness, imagine. Everything comes from sound. Sound is the primal energy that is used to create. Sound came first. We have emphasized your value as well as that of Earth. She is your mother, she feels you, and she knows your name. In her quest for understanding, she has allowed a grave misuse of energy, and has even allowed herself to lose her true identity by being raped and abused by humankind. In order for Earth to make the necessary leap that will affect all of this universe, a cleansing and a healing, an initiation must take place. Earth is going to go through tumultuous changes. After studying the records of Earth and of many worlds, we see this probability as being inevitable because of the extensive polarity on your planet. Rest assured that the more you pollute and destroy Earth, the more energy will go into shifting and shaking to clean things up. Humans who do not operate with love of self and love of the planet will be departing in vast numbers very quickly after exposure to the rays entering Earth. This is part of the electromagnetic change of the civilization. In death, the human vehicle moves consciousness into another realm. The healing crisis has just begun. The fever is building. Between the years 1994 and 1999, you will move into peak chaos. During that time, there will be a great movement to create fear and confusion on the planet. Concurrently, there will be a great merging of the multidimensional self, because energy fields from space will have been opened to allow sources of intelligence to travel quite easily along these pathways. They will travel through to you and emerge in your domain. There will be no continent untouched and no people unmoved by what takes place. There will be few of you who will not have to migrate, for all of you basically will relocate yourselves at some point. For some of you, this is unheard of. Yet, by relocating yourselves, there will be a major shift in consciousness. Using a pendulum and dowsing are ways that you can check, verify, and discover your location. There are individuals who are delineating quite clearly through prophecy where the safer areas are going to be. There are a number of ways you can do this yourselves. Your lives will be, out of necessity, simplified. The more you can prepare for this simplification, the easier it will be on you. Unclutter your lives by letting go of the unnecessary things that would drag you down with responsibilities, the things you don't need. Lighten up. Sit on the ground, feel Earth, communicate with Earth, and trust Earth. Trust that when Earth moves, you will move in sync. Trust that Earth will love you, warn you, and inform you in some way. Trust that the insects will speak to you, along with the cats, the dogs, and the birds. If you have this communication and deep love and appreciation for the energy of Earth's vibration, Earth will work with you. Remember, she knows you. No matter where you are, she knows your feelings and intentions and responds accordingly. Earth changes are equated with death, yes? On your planet, you know next to nothing about death. There is a tremendous opportunity in all of these shifts to learn about death. It appears to some of you that as people leave or die, there is a mishap taking place. It appears there is a failure and that something was done wrong. We see the opposite. We see people leaving the planet with a new point of view. They are so gifted because many of you have your hearts open and are transmitting unity of purpose, allowing others to know and realize what they came for. Not everyone came here to see a new Earth. Can you realize that some people came to this planet to die in peace, without torture and pain, and to die with the consciousness of liberation? When you are afraid of death or pain, and you have an opportunity to assist someone pass over, your heart may want to close down. You may think, I can't do this. I can't look at death. It's too frightening. Keep your heart open. Let the goddess do it, and you will find that there is a ripeness and a timeliness in every person's exit. Yes, events are being orchestrated. However, they cannot be orchestrated without the consciousness to match them. As you are clearing the last dregs of fear and misunderstanding, many of you will be called upon to work with the dead and help release them. When this happens on a large scale, you will find that those who have passed over will periodically return. When you become a death walker, you are able to make the death experience with another and walk back from it, to go to the other side and come back. You find that there are many different energies accompanying each person's journey. Ask for a knowledgeable, uplifted, wise, and benevolent being to blend with you and help you understand the best way to create the highest opportunity for the death. Ask to have the ability to walk through the death experience and see people over to the other side as they once did in ancient Egypt. Take the departed on a boat and journey to the other side, then come back and tell everyone where they went. For some of you, this is essential to master in this decade on your earth plane. When people move from one dimension to another, the process can be greatly facilitated through the use of sound. You may want to experiment with different kinds of sound. You may want to tone, make sound through instruments, or sing. You will discover what is most appropriate. Ask for guidance and impulses. You need to make an agreement to trust your impulses. They are what will save your bodies. When you get an impulse that says leave, something is telling you to move, something is telling you to go, so do it. Learn to recognize your impulses and to respond to them. The Death Walker's job is to assist people into a place of forgiveness. allowing the death release to occur without any attachments to blame, judgments, or victimhood. There is an art to this because often, in the final moments, people open to forgiveness. As dying people get close to their Maker, time collapses. Moments elongate into poignant lessons of life, and a great opportunity is at hand. The greatest act of forgiveness is ultimately to yourself, because you passed all judgments and made forgiveness necessary. You can assist the dying to find peace in their lives, to exit in serenity and love with smiles on their faces. Help them by asking them to look for friends or relatives or others they would recognize to beckon them onward. This is a pivotal key in assisting and death walking. There is healing in death because there is life on the other side of death. As you send your energy to these individuals in transition, transmit it also to Earth. Support Earth in her process and let her know that you want to be here to participate in the transformation. It is a true form of allowing when you surrender to the process and allow Earth to do what is necessary. As Earth continues her dance of purification and the shaking and moving intensifies, you will be impulsed to cluster together to enhance existing communities or form new communities. Each community will grow and flourish based on its members' abilities to feel and to create thought forms together. Each community will need to energize a cooperative codicil so that everyone can come together to contribute food, shelter, music, movement, and sound. This system of communities will go back to the old way of living in which you need each other. It will reestablish the ancient blueprint of relationships by which you experience interconnected living. You will feel relief when you belong to a community and live closer to the land, breathe fresh air, and feel alive. There will be a new vitality in food. There will be deeper laughter in relationships and a greater value to every moment of life. Eventually, you will come to the conclusion that life is to be played, and that only in playing life can you succeed in work. If you do not play properly, you cannot have successful work. The work needs always to benefit the community. Many healings will take place. Communities will be inspired to build, and a renaissance of the temple culture will occur. All over this land, sites will be marked and sacred buildings of beauty brought forth. Earth changes will open many secrets from deep in Earth herself. The pyramids that dot this land and are covered over will be uncovered, and many cracks and crevices will reveal ancient sites long buried. You will pool resources and share your ideas about food, education, barter, business, leisure time, and places of meditation. Prioritize and agree that a strong community comes first, knowing that each person is a valuable asset to the whole community. As you do these things, you establish a field of ideas or a field of thought. You will create huge thought forms over the community. Those who have a predilection for reading thought forms will be able to view your community and know by reading the energy in the thought forms who you are and what you are all about. Your thought forms will be a new sort of etheric telegraph. The rites of birth are going to change. The value of birth and what women do to bring children into this world will come into the highest honor. A man will be honored to stand next to a mother and child and say, "It is my child," reclaiming the pride and responsibility that goes with fathering a child. Women will no longer experience shame with childbirth. Why do so many women not have fathers for their children? Because they are ashamed of the process and not connected to the honor of what they are doing. There will come a time when a man will truly seek the favor of a woman. He will want to be in her vibration, to bond more than anything else, to be a part of the miracle of life, and to deliver children. It will be completely changed. Your current era will be looked upon as a most barbaric time. when the darkest of darkness was at hand, and when women themselves did not even know that they were playing out the patriarchal game of birth. Your communities will be oriented toward children, toward what you can do for children to create a safe, loving, nurturing environment. You will learn from the children as they become your teachers. They will instruct you and share with you what they know and what is going on from their perspective. There will be a series of children born this decade whom we call the family of love. They will teach you about the energy of the goddess and about love as a force of creation. They will carry the epitome of creative energy. They will be born to those who know how to honor their sexuality. When a couple unites in the highest vibration of spiritual energy, with complete chakra opening and intention to invite an energy to life, this allows the family of love individuals to be born. These children will help create telepathic link-ups with their potential parents so choices can be made. We wish to communicate to each of you that you do have a choice. Will you exercise that choice? Or will you slip into disempowerment and think that you have no effect on what your body can do? This teaching is crucial to the days that are coming. Each of you, as a female or a male embodying the goddess or god energy in all phases, needs to embrace the idea that you have power over your body, over the life-giving process, over the distribution of your kundalini, and that you decide when a child can enter through you. Not all of you will have these unique children. These children will seek out those with appropriate consciousness and bloodlines. They will be born in every village and community. They will help change the planetary vibration and will be born to parents who have a spiritual and psychic experience of sexuality. These children will be the embodiment of the vibration of love and will willingly decide to carry a mark of difference within them. They will be engineered in the very DNA of your bodies and your bloodstreams. We want to ask something of you. No matter where you are, no matter what is going on, no matter how severe events may seem to get, we want you to promise to always bring fun, love, and laughter to every day of your life. Take time out to say, hey, listen, we're too freaked out over this. Let's laugh for a little bit. Let's stop and have tea. Let's energize the pleasure frequency. These are the most brilliant and uplifting of times. They are magnificent. It is just that you do not have the daily reminders of this. There are unique sound and light technologies that are energizing new opportunities for effortlessness and cooperation. There are many, many solutions that are being born. Understand that all you create and bring life to, you do with your mind. What you do with your mind and how you invest it is a key to your survival and the survival of planet Earth. We tell you stories from which you can evolve. You can choose whether to believe them or not. However, if you believe them, be willing to let go of them and recognize when they no longer serve you. Our entire approach and purpose at this point in time is to confound you into clarity and create unsolvable contradictions within the patterns of thought that occupy the cells of your beings. By considering our words, you change. The days before you will be filled with a majestic splendor, in the same way that your physical world once offered pristine beauty for you to explore. You are creating an opportunity to transcend third-dimensional reality and to enter the corridors of time where worlds and realities have more variety and flexibility. Your task is to heal yourselves on a treasure hunt through the corridors of time. We have shared many keys with you and left as many unannounced. You must transform yourselves as the sum total of the force of existence, poised in your moment of the ever-expanding now. Everything we have shared with you has been designed to take you deeper into yourselves. You have viewed the beliefs and ideas around which the self is structured, by choice, by overt and covert influence on earth and from the heavens. What does it matter? Do not begrudge reality. You have created an opportunity now. You are poised at this ending to give thanks for what you know and what you have journeyed into. You have learned more of who you are in the story of 12. The idea of 12 is deeply imprinted and embedded in your physical being. 12 is a code that has been used by numerous sentient beings to enter your reality. You live in your world today according to certain mathematical agreements about reality. There are numerous mathematical bases for which numbers and interpretations can be pursued. Most of you simply agree on the one that is most commonly taught and used, and you believe that that is the only one. The idea of 12 coincides with the most commonly held mathematical base and point of view. The story of 12 is grander than that base. However, it fits well within it. Through this structure, you can be influenced, and a way can be established so you can be guided to approach reality. You may ask yourself, what is the point of what I know? What good does it do me to know that I am a member of the family of light, that perhaps I am Pleiadian, that Earth is valuable, that I am valuable, and that if I walk Earth and search Earth, I can find her secrets in her unbounded majesty, her sacred sites, and her symphonies of silently speaking circles? What do I need to know about the Lizzies and the goddess and my body? And how is it that my body can have room within it to have others merge with me and peek out from my eyes? And if others merge with me, do they see the same world I do? Or is it through their merging with my being that other worlds emerge, and that I myself emerge into those other worlds? What is possession? What is merging and emerging in late 20th century Earth? What do my glands have to do with this and my body? And where does sex take me through all of this? Now, as you ponder these points, we in turn ask you, what great depths of surprise are you discovering as you learn to open your personal sacred sites to the secrets of your own loops of consciousness? What do you find when you meet brick walls and get to know the deepest mysteries of yourself? If you can learn to transform energy and move beyond judgment, you will come to an exalted place that takes you beyond the moment into a grander aspect of time, a time that is structured in a different fashion from yours. Time for you is ruled by numbers. There again, you find the story of 12, encapsulated in time, defining who you are within a circle. So, as you complete the cycle of 12, consider a new way of viewing time. Realize that it is a structure through which other forms of existence use mathematical heritage as a language to express geometry. As you journey to this point that is the sum total of who you are, knowing all these things, you arrive at a moment when it is time to share your knowledge with your family, society, and culture. Many of you are poised in this moment. You have a duty to share what you know, not to preach or to sow seeds of fear or plant the field for another, but to vibrate in the wholeness that you are. You need to understand and encompass all the things that make up society, life, death, birth, children, and all society's members, young and old, not simply those you consider to be productive. Radical change will occur. Have compassion as you put the things you have learned to work. If the karma is squeezing you at this time, it is because you need to release yourselves from the prisons you have created by your own need to punish or feel shame or blame. You are all poised at the grand moment of letting go. Imagine that you are ambassadors of light, feeling space and vibrancy within yourselves, knowing that your thoughts have designed the energy that moves you. A new frontier and vista of the world awaits you if you visualize and imagine it. You must visualize that moment of bliss. It cannot exist without you. Do not be attached to what we have shared with you. Do not proclaim new Bibles of truth through our stories. We are here to entertain you, and as we have said, to create new images to give you a stepladder to what's out there. It's a gigantic universe, so do not limit yourself and force everything to fit into one recipe to bake a pie. There are many ways to look at life. The embodiment of 12 will give you a sum total of yourselves. Take it and realize that with the completion of 12, a whole new journey begins. It is this moment upon which you are now poised. Enjoy every moment as a moment of bliss. Keep yourselves in the ever-expanding opportunity that the goddesses and the gods and all the versions of yourselves are funneling your way. Accept the mantle of your own creation. We want to remind you that you are in two worlds. Even though you drive your cars, go to the bathroom, sleep, eat, and do all the things that all humans do, you do not dwell in the same world. You reside in a world of knowledge, and you have gained access to the rules to bridge both of these worlds. We also want to remind you to energize the idea of a safe world. Much will happen, bringing change through tumultuous, shocking, and surprising events as things that have been prophesied begin to occur. It would be wise for all of you to seek the wisdom of the elders, the indigenous peoples in all cultures, and to listen to the teachings they share. They speak of these times, and their teachers have been our teachers. They understand as Earth speaks. We salute you for the courage to kindle the flame of faith as the spark of life in the core of your beings, and to pioneer the frontier to blissful living where meaning and purpose thrive. See that flame grow and allow it to serve as the fuel for a safe and unique adventure into the grand arenas of experience. Dear ambassadors of light, be aware that even within the new concepts you grasp lie structure and limitation. However, each new daring you pursue takes you to a new vista where you scale the peaks of existence as divine teachings play themselves out today in your very own version of life. Ask yourself what chapter closes as you view this segment of your lives, this moment of the ever-expanding now. What have you pursued to steer you to this very moment in time in order to further experience life? Inspire yourselves to move further into the moment by letting go of old discoveries and trust to the core of your beings that a new cycle of learning awaits. Go forward, friends, and be uplifted. Learn in your own way to go into the past through the ever-expanding, spontaneous, synchronistic moment. A new cycle of existence awaits you. Use the tools of thought to guide yourselves on the new superhighway of consciousness. No technology will ever surpass the magnificence of your own biological spiritual beings. For many of you, these days may be filled with sadness as the letting go becomes more and more challenging. The keys of consciousness for living through these tumultuous times on earth have been given to you to the best of our ability and yours at this time. May you grow in wisdom and flourish. Your invisible friends and colleagues in the unknown, the Pleiadians.